Dear Future Enoch, I'm often asked, are you a gamer? Because you look like a gamer. And back in an earlier life, I was a gamer. Past tense, was. No big AAA titles, but I definitely invested a lot of time in gaming, mostly browser-based Flash games, which is why I have a soft spot for them. I gamed progressively less during university as I just had less time to game overall, and the time I did have, I wanted to go outside. These days, I just don't have that much time to game anymore, particularly when I have other hobbies and interests that I'd rather pursue, so I'm much more selective about the games I play. The games I do play are generally more casual and laid back, games that don't require much commitment, aren't competitive, and most importantly, don't have microtransactions or dailies or penalize you when you drop off because your internet connection died. I know the feeling. That's why I don't play multiplayer games anymore. A year ago, a friend introduced me to Wingspan, the physical card game that had a digital version that I snatched up soon after. I asked if Hearthstone was a good game, which he told me not to bother, so I went with Wingspan instead. A relaxing, mildly competitive game about birds with cheerful graphics, soothing music, and I just love how the birds animate from the cards and use actual bird recordings. Then, recently, he introduced me to Stardew Valley, which I already spent way too much time on. I enjoy games where you get to build things. After all, SimCity 2000 was the very first computer game that I played. And I like the building and crafting and collecting mechanics of the game, but also the character development and the fact that you can make an impact in the little community that you live in, even if they're all NPCs, but shh. He suggested these games because he thought they would be more my type, which he's definitely right about. Not only are there no stupid microtransactions in any of these games, but they also strike a nice balance between predictability and variability. Games that are too predictable become repetitive and quickly lose their appeal. Every time you play becomes a grind with increasingly diminishing returns. Games that are too variable, on the other hand, can become cumbersome and stressful to play, making it feel like you have no control over anything. These aren't the only games that I play. I also play a lot of Cities Skylines and older titles, like Civilization 4 and The Sims 2 and 3. Call me old, but they all share the same traits. They strike a good balance, they don't have any microtransactions, there's no commitment required, and they're still fully fledged games with many hours of gameplay to enjoy. So yeah, no COD or League or Fortnite, but I have enough work stress already as an adult, and I don't need my gaming life to be stressful too. And I know competitive gaming is a thing, and I know people are passionately emotional about this stuff, and in fact, I hear my brother frequently screaming and yelling at his Xbox. I was that person, and I get it, but these days I just don't have the capacity to take on stressful gaming. Also, pandemic had something to do with it. And it's been great. Gaming has become an enjoyable activity again. Definitely more productive than doom scrolling. If you're an adult like me and don't have a whole lot of time or interest in gaming but still want to game on occasion, try these games. Or you could go outside. That works too. Future Enoch, I'll see you next week.